Broadcasting live from the Business Radio X studios in Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for Atlanta Business Radio, spotlighting the city's best businesses and the people who lead them.
Welcome to this very special edition of Atlanta Business Radio. It's time for Trusted Advisor Radio, brought to you by our good friends at Country Financial. Now here's your host, Chris Seabrook.
Thanks, Stone. So it is Thursday, May the 9th, and this is actually National Small Business Week. So I've got some great guests on the show this month, and looking forward to introducing everybody. Let's start with Joi Turner. She's actually with the Urban League of Greater Atlanta.
Good afternoon. I'm Joi Turner with the Urban League of Greater Atlanta. I am the program manager for Project Ready, which is a youth-based college preparatory program for our high school students here in Atlanta.
Fantastic.
That's awesome.
Okay. And next we have Misty Frazier, a.k.a. Chef Flava.
Yes.
Welcome, Chef.
Hi, how you doing? And hello, humanity. Again, my name is Misty, but I go by Chef Flava because I have good flavor in my food. I am manifesting and saying that I'm building the next fast food empire of America. So I see myself and my dreams at night being as big as McDonald's and Burger King and all the other franchises that's out right now, but offering healthier sources of protein, leaner alternatives to food.
Very cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay. And last but certainly not least, we have Martina Young from My Enterprises.
Hello, everybody. I am, again, Martina Young. I am an entrepreneur's trainer. So I'm the one that you talk to when you want to start a business and you want it to be profitable. You want to work ethically and morally and do whatever it takes to make the money. So we specialize in business and marketing development and IT services as well.
Very cool.
Wow, I need your number now.
All right. So, Joi, I want to start the questions with you. We every month thus far, we've been able to spotlight a nonprofit that works with Country Financial or that I have hold near and dear to my heart. And Urban League is both. But you specifically work, well, actually, let me back up. So can you tell me a little bit about the partnership that Urban League has with Country Financial?
Well, Country Financial is an amazing partner to the Urban League and for the Urban League, specifically with our Project Ready program. Mm-hmm. Like I said before, Project Ready assists students in preparing for life after high school. So we do that in many different capacities. But Country Financial, one of the components and proponents that they provide for our students is that financial literacy for our parents and for our students. So that way, when they graduate from high school, they are ready, financially secure, and aware of what the next steps are for them.
Fantastic. So tell me, for Project Ready, what qualifies, I guess, a student to be a part of the program?
Just a desire to go to college or to be successful citizens and productive members of society after high school. So we really look at students who are in the city of Atlanta, mm-hmm. Who are in 9th through 12th grade, and who have that desire for college or their career. We keep it open to many different types of students. We don't have a specific type of student that we like. We just want students who have that desire.
Very cool. Very cool. So tell me a little bit about Project Ready STEAM Academy.
So during the summer times, beginning this summer, we'll be on Georgia State campus. We'll be located at the Creative Media Industries Institute, and that program is a project-based program where our students will work together for 1 week with their peers and have judges come with and judge them and let them know exactly where they need to do to be in the STEAM field. So we do different career exploration activities. We do team project presentations, and our students create apps and develop app ideas and present it in a Shark Tank style environment.
Wow.
Oh, I like that.
So this is kind of catching you off guard. What would you say would be the most fun app or the most creative app that you can remember going through?
There was an amazing app. 4 of our students created an app called Social. Mm-hmm. Actually, it was spelled SCHOCIAL. And this is for students who struggle academically. They find that learning in the traditional setting was boring to them.
Right.
So they created this app idea to make learning fun, to where it's more like a social media aspect of education.
Wow. Okay.
That's cool.
I can see how that would be very beneficial, especially for those kids who are kind of trying to get tied in, but they can't really get tied in.
Yes.
So I know that the Urban League as a whole does some pretty phenomenal projects, but what are some other projects that you all do to kind of incorporate youth or get them encouraged and motivated?
So my particular program, Project Ready, is for the high school youth, but we also have programs for students who aren't quite ready for my program. These are the students who maybe dropped out of high school, may need their GED. So we have one program called the UYEP, Urban Youth Empowerment Program. It's for students age 18 to 24 who reside in DeKalb County. They're actually looking for participants now, and they pretty much prepare students for getting their GED. So they do GED prep, and then once they get their GED, they place them in a credential program, so that way they can be certified in a specific field.
Wow. So I'm going into the program. I want to get certified in a particular career path, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
The type of career paths that they typically go after are construction, IT, healthcare, hospitality, transportation, warehouse and logistics, film, etc.
Very cool. Now, do you find that a lot of the kids that are going through the program are so attached to it that they come back afterwards and try to give as well?
Definitely. Especially with our Project Ready program. A lot of our alumni, we've been in Atlanta since 2012, and a lot of our students come back after they graduated from high school, and now we have our first cohort graduating from college this month, and they come back and provide mentorship. They come back and we provide internship for them as well. So our motto with the Urban League is once you're an Urban Leaguer, you're always an Urban Leaguer.
Wow. Well, thank you, Joy. Okay, so let's hop over to Chef Flavor. So I know that you recently did your launch. Am I correct?
I did.
Okay,
it was Thursday of March.
March. Okay, Thursday in March. Okay, so tell me about that. How was the launch? How did you things that you learned or whatever since then?
Exactly. Well, a lot of my business venture is I'm getting a lot of lessons just through life.
Okay.
No one's taught me how to be an entrepreneur. No one's taught me the steps that you need to take to build a business. So it literally is me going out, networking, opening my mouth, talking to people who is already in my field, and then they point me into the right direction. So when it came to like my launch, I wasn't too familiar. Like, I'm on social media, like, Instagram, but I wasn't too familiar with like trying to market myself, promotions, paying for the promotions that Instagram has, Facebook has, Yelp ads, Google ads. So I'm just now being into that. I have a Google Ads assistant who calls me like every week to help me stay on top of my Google ads, because I do have ads. So if you type in anything about burgers, healthier choices, it's going to be an ad for La Mills that pops up. And I'm really just trying to get people to see me more, see the name, because the name La Mills is the acronym for Love of My Life. So I want everything to kind of be embodied around love, because when you love yourself, you eat like you love yourself, it makes it easier to love other people. So that's really where my business foundation is, just on kind of bringing back a love to humanity through people's stomachs. Because, they say the easiest way to a person's heart is through their stomach. Right? So, I'm trying to tackle that burden that I feel that is on, America, our society, our community through food. So when it came to like my launch, it was just about getting my community involved. I don't have a team. I do have people who help me and who will volunteer when I do go live or I do post like certain things that I have going on. But it's all about hustle and grind. Like I went door to door before, all the way to like 3:00 at night, just putting these flyers on people's doors, on their mailbox, telling them what I have going on, going to Kroger, passing out flyers in Kroger, soliciting on people's cars. So it could be kind of annoying, but I've just felt like these are the necessary steps that I have to do in order to get my business out.
Right, because you never know who's going to be interested.
Exactly.
Right. So you've kind of shared a little bit about your mission, but and you told a little bit about the name of the business, but tell me what inspired you. I mean, I know that you're well on your way to being the next health food franchise, but what got you here? How did you get to the point to where you said, you know what, I want there to be a healthier option?
From my own personal pain points, I know a while back when I was in like high school, like 9th grade in high school, I was in like this phase, even though I look like a stick, I'm only like 100 pounds, but but I care about the things that I eat. So I'll go to McDonald's, or I'll go to Wendy's, and I'll say, hey, I want a chicken sandwich, but I don't want no bread. I just want the chicken and lettuce. And like my mom, she'll be like, oh, you're doing the most. But like, it's just like, I really want something that's better, but these are the choices that I have. So I have to make the most of it. And I was like, well, if someone did take into consideration people's health instead of like what they have in their pockets, they're trying like to mass produce stuff in a way that is cheaper for them, but you know, they get the dollar out of consumers, then I was like, well, if no one's going to do it, I'm going to have to be that change, because I did some research. McDonald's has been around for 64 years. They're going on their 65th year of being a very popular, lucrative business. And I'm just tired of eating McDonald's, you know, tired of eating McDonald's, tired of eating Wendy's, tired, you know, Cookout, you know, it's really all the same, but it's slightly different with my approach. Everything about the fast food industry that I feel like I have a pain point with, I'm looking to change. And even just besides that, as far as like my grind and my hustle, I've always been an entrepreneur. From the get-go, I remember my mom telling me stories like just I would get in trouble for taking like all the tissue in the house or all the light bulbs and just like go out in the neighborhood and sell the light bulbs for 25 cents, but I'll come home with like $5. My mom would be mad because there's no tissue in the house, but she'd be like, you know what, you got up early, you went out door to door hustle, so I can't be too mad at you, but give me that $5 so we could go get some more tissue.
Right. So you've always had this entrepreneurial spirit then?
Yes, and I always love cooking. I always love just being in the kitchen. Like, you will know when I'm upset because I'll be in the kitchen cooking something. I also was, because I'm the oldest out of all my siblings. I have 9 siblings, and my parents was like, you know, working day in, day night, you know, coming home late, not feeling like cooking. So if I didn't cook, then me and my siblings wouldn't eat. So I've always been in the kitchen. I feel like I've always been hustling. So I just feel like now, and me growing up, coming into my role and position of life, I'm like, okay, everything is tying in together. Like me cooking, me hustling. Even when I was like a jit, before I even knew how to do anything, I used to be in the mud making mud pies and mud burgers. So everything is coming together.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your ingredients. What kind of make them? You know, there are other, of course, health foods restaurants that are out there. What sets your ingredients apart? What would make me decide that I want to come to your restaurant or support you as opposed to some of the other chains that are out there?
With the other chains, personally, I feel that it's set. You know, they give you a set menu. This is what you have to choose from. You could say maybe no cheese, add tomato, whatever, but you have a set recipe. I like to say that I'm like the Subway for burgers. So I'm breaking all burger boundaries. Like, you can literally create your burger how you want to. So I have different sources of protein that I think, I mean, I've done my research, but from what I can tell, is really not a lot of people is serving venison burgers, is serving salmon burgers. It's all about like beef and for fish, I guess cod or something. But, you know, the proteins that I'm choosing is a lot richer in nutrients. So when you do eat it, it's going to taste good. But if you keep eating it as regularly as you eat, you know, the junk that we do eat now, you'll really start to feel better. I wish I had a picture of how I design my burgers, so I could show you. But the way that I create it is, I don't want to give too much, but the way that I create it, I create my burgers to basically have the crater built inside.
Okay.
So then when the customer comes in, they say, I want jalapenos, mushrooms, onions inside the burger. So when you bite it, every bite is filled with what you want. You build your burger to your own satisfaction.
Yeah. Okay. So tell me about this is a detox drink, right?
Yes.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about that.
So this is called Less. I call it Less because it's only made with 3 ingredients. The ingredients the base of it is detox water. So that's just water and lemon. How it sits a long time, the acid pushes impurities out your body. So that's the base of it. And then I use agave for just a natural sweetener and cherry juice for flavoring.
Okay.
So those are the only ingredients, but it's very refreshing. It tastes delicious, and you still get your daily intake of water.
Okay. So now, is this? I've done detoxes before. Is this designed to promote weight loss, or is it just a drink that I can have? I'm sitting at home one day, I'm thirsty, and I want to have something to drink.
Oh, I wouldn't go as far as say it prevents weight loss, but I do know because I've done a lot of detoxes as well. I do know like the component of water and lemon alone pushes the impurities out your body. Like that acid really goes after and eats away at certain things that's clogging up inside your body and kind of pushes that out. So it's definitely a refreshing drink. And it does do your good somebody, and you still getting your daily intake of water. I don't tell people that it's juice or that it's soda. I tell people this is flavored water. Mm-hmm. It's not like a juice to quench your thirst. Now, it tastes good. You'll probably say it tastes like juice, but I tell people this is flavored water. I do take a gallon of water and I add like a cup of flavoring to it just to enhance the flavors, and then make sure that you still are profiting from drinking such a good drink, with good ingredients.
Okay. That's good. And, you shared us a lot of your vision, I think some of your mission, but what's your end goal?
My end goal? Wow. My end goal is to heal humanity with love. And I say that I tell people that the product of the food, that's not really what I'm selling. That's I guess, just a carrier, because my slogan is food handcrafted with love. The product that I'm selling is love. I want you to eat something so good that you be like, oh my God, I love this. It makes me love myself. Ooh, I love you. And I even also want the name of my business, Little Mills, to be used like as a household name, like another bae, another baby, another sweetheart. Because it's the acronym. I coined it. It's currently being trademarked and copyrighted, but I want it to be like, you come home, hey, Lamille, what's going on? And then they look at you like, Lamille? Whose name is Lamille? Like, all the kids are saying it. It means love of my life. You're Lamille. You're the love of my life. Because I call the business name actually came from my relationship. And me and my Lamille has been dating for like 6 years. So, I don't want to be like everyone else calling them like bae and baby. Like, be my Lamille. You're everything to me. I want to be everything to everyone else. Like, I want to be. I feel like I am love. I embody it. I have so much love, and it has put me in situations to where people has taken advantage of it. But that doesn't change my heart. I just know what I have to give, what I have to offer. Right. I can't personally criticize myself for the way that another person is. I know how I am.
Very cool. Okay, so Dex, you kind of snuck in here on the tail end. So introduce yourself. Tell us about your business real quick.
Okay, my name is Dexter Jones. My company is Vendetta Systems. We specialize in business automation, data analytics. Everyone who has a business, wants to have a business, tip number one, you need to start measuring everything. So we help companies measure those things. We help shorten the cycles for actually doing some of the work. And yeah, we're going to bring that to the people now.
What's the name of your business again?
Vendetta Systems.
Okay. And you work very closely with Martina, and I want to kind of take a second here. One, to talk about collaboration as a whole, but Martina, will you share a little bit more about your business and how you work with entrepreneurs to kind of get them to understand, how to take care of their business, how to take their business to the next level?
Wow, that's a loaded question. How much time do I have? Okay, so one of the things is we work with people who want to start businesses, because you have the idea, you know you're talented, you're gifted, and all your life someone told you, oh, you should do this. Oh, you just paint so well. Oh my goodness, you can just paint rooms. You should be an interior designer, but you have no idea what to do with that. Not everyone has been gifted certain things in their life that affords them to get certain educations or to be in certain environments where that is taught. I had a father who was a serial entrepreneur and brought me in his business at 14. So that's what I have. Lord, that's what I have been doing. When I was 14, he had me calling on his accounts, and calling on his accounts. And you have this little kid voice, and you can't say my dad. You have to say, I'm calling on behalf of Allman Janitorial, and you owe us $650. And so he taught me that early, and that's one of the things that I work with is help to bring out the vision that you have. And then let's set it up on a very solid foundation, because too many people are just out here starting businesses haphazardly,
right,
and they're not lasting, or they're just losing so much money, and then now I just have to go work for someone. No, you don't.
Yeah.
Every career path out here, as we were at Idlewood Elementary last Friday, and we told the students, and I mean this, every career path has an entrepreneurial alliance. So you want to be a doctor? Own a practice. You want to be a lawyer? Own a practice. My daughter decided she wanted to be a chef. My brother's a chef in Las Vegas. I'm like, I got to put you with Maurice. But, all of a sudden she changed her mind. After all this good cooking, she's 16 now. 15, she says, yeah, I want to be a paramedic. No, you'll own your own ambulatory business. So that's the thing. That's one of the things that we do. And then we want to make sure, even with existing businesses who just got out there and they're operating like a mom and pop shop. I mean, these people, Dexter and I have encountered people who are making a lot of money and they don't have an LLC. They don't have, I don't have an EIN number. Really? Everything comes out of my personal account. Seriously. I haven't filed taxes in 9 years. Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
So, so don't let the beautiful visual fool you. Everyone doesn't have it together. And that's what we do is we come in, we like to focus on, we don't care what you're doing right. That's great. It's working. We come in and we actually come in, we look at what's not working, what's messed up, jacked up, and that's what we attack, and we build that to make it stronger. I say this a lot to give you a visual, and that is, we have people trying to build mansions on top of trailers. We're trying to get rid of the trailer and build a solid foundation.
Right.
And when and I don't call myself a business coach. I'm an entrepreneur's trainer, because you think about a trainer gets down there with you. Anybody ever been to boot camp?
Yep.
Yeah.
First of all, they're not nice. They yell at you. They don't care that you're about to die. It's like, it doesn't matter. We'll drink some water, or you have to earn your water.
Right.
So I'm the same way. You're not always going to like what I have to say, but you'll be okay, because it's about the business. I don't really care about your feelings at this moment, because that's why you're losing money, but you want to build a legacy. So from a trainer perspective, we go in and we want to show you how to do it out of our presence. You shouldn't always have to say, I got to call Martina, I got to call Dexter, I got to call Jordan, I got to call them right now because I can't make a decision. No, we're going to show you how to make a decision when you're in that marketplace. And even if there are certain things you can't do, you'll know, like, wow, I didn't know that to build a marketing strategy, I needed this. I didn't know how to do a competitive analysis. I had no clue. But now you know. Now, you still may have to hire someone to do certain things, but now you have that thought process. So
very cool.
I try to make it short.
So right. You summed it up right, very nicely. So tell me, I know, like I said, I know that you all work pretty closely together. Can you tell me a little bit about how your collaboration started, and why it's a good idea for people who, I guess can't have that chemistry to build collaborations to help them grow?
You want me to take that?
Yeah,
one?
you can.
Okay.
I'm about to plug.
Right. So the collaboration actually began at a Panera Bread. We'd run into each other after a high school event, and we were just kind of chopping it up a little bit, and I told her the things that I was doing, and she talked to me about being an entrepreneur's trainer, and I said, well, how does your technology look right now? And she gave me a long list of the things that she had on the tech side, and I said, well, let me see if I can take a look at this. And literally after getting under the hood for about an hour, we kind of looked at each other and said, hey, let's do this. And the reason, it was actually twofold. The first thing was, of course, needed to add some tech. I needed some more structure. That was a pretty good marriage there. But the second thing, and this was probably the most important, our goals were aligned for growing and expanding our businesses beyond where we were. And one of the things that I see a lot of times with business owners, especially when they come in, is we'll run into a situation where it's kind of like crabs in a barrel, right?
Right.
If there may be competing products, but they can still be in the same place. I've been to places where, maybe Coke and Pepsi is in the same cooler, but neither one would have gotten into the building without the other. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the way that it goes. So even though Martina and I, we were kind of in the same place. I'm growing businesses through the technology and the structure of your organization, and she's building businesses through the practice of doing certain things, getting your taxes, insurance, the foundational parts of your business, knowing how to do SWOT analysis and things like that. It was a perfect marriage of those two. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect because we've got some collaborations with, for instance, she mentioned Jordan. Jordan has Atelier Studios, mm-hmm. and Atelier Studios, they're a web design company. Well, I do web design as well. But a lot of times, quite honestly, between me and my team, we just don't have time for those particular projects.
Right.
So I will call on Jordan and say, hey, can Atelier Studio pick up this particular client? So it's not it's more of working together as opposed to, a complete competition where two people are like fighting against each other. So I think that's something that a lot of businesses, if you find the right collaborations, even if they're in your space, those things can work to your advantage.
Right, and I can speak to that too. Like I work with other financial services professionals, and there are things that that I can definitely do. Like I might be able to write a particular insurance policy, but because we've got a relationship, I'm going to leave it alone. Or because I feel like you may be able to suit the needs of that particular person a little bit better, it makes it better for the client, and it strengthens our relationship so that we can create opportunities for more money in the future.
Yes, definitely. And another one more thing, if you look at what they do over at like a Tech Village. Mm-hmm. Tech Village has a lot of competing companies, but they share they don't share all their domain knowledge, but they do share a lot of their experiences on the technical side. So let's say that you're using a Microsoft-based database as opposed to an Amazon-based one. Mm-hmm. If one of them sees that one performs better than the other, they will share that information amongst themselves in order to grow the entire village. And I think Tech Village definitely has a unique structure as far as that's concerned. And we're putting together a similar situation in South DeKalb with Vuma. We're going to do the same mm-hmm. thing. We're going to bring in entrepreneurs and start sharing notes and growing it as a whole.
Very cool. Now, you mentioned, Dex, about knowing your numbers, knowing your data. Kind of go a little bit further down that road and tell me a little bit about some things that you've noticed that business owners maybe don't track and they should, or just things that you think are valuable. Okay, so
the first thing my mentor says this is one of the first things that he ever told me. Every job has a statistic. Mm-hmm. The beauty of statistics are that they're completely objective. There's no, it's either good or it's bad. They're high or they're low. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how I get into the math. I don't have to actually consider anything except that the number's up or down. Mm-hmm. So when you start thinking of it that way, like recently, Martina and I were like, well, what is the stat going to be for our administrator that we're bringing in here? And we talked about how the admin, how many phone calls were received? How many emails did you send out? How many replies were sent? What did you get off of the social media? Things like that. Even though they're administrative functions, we can use those numbers to determine how well we're doing, right. How many calls, what is. And so having said that, every business needs to focus their attention on their stats. And you need to do it on a very frequent basis. We started at 2 weeks. Now we do every week. We're getting a lot. We're able to focus our attention in the right areas if we do it weekly. So if I look and see that the number of leads that were generated were down, I can call the sales guy and say, hey, why are we having less leads? And some statistics need to go up and some for a positive, and some should also go down. And when you look at it that way, it not only just gives you something to do, you're not just checking the bank account and things, but you can begin to trend and anticipate what's going to happen next with your business. So if you know, like one of the things we talked about recently was we know that if we track 10 prospects a week, we know we're going to get a response from 2. It might not be the same 10, but tracking 10 a week is going to result in 2. We've seen that over the course of about 6 or 7 months. Now, if we when we increase from 10 to 15, that led to 3. So now we're starting to see a trend. And when someone comes in, we can say, hey, you need to take 15 leads and turn them over to prospects every week for us to get 3 new clients. Just as an example, but those are some of the things that.
Can I say something to that?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times with entrepreneurs, we're gonna ask you certain questions. We always ask like your numbers. What are you doing? And no one ever knows. Or we do group strategy calls with our clients every Thursday, and one of the things was, what's a profit? Because they think, oh, I sold a T-shirt for $25. I sold the T-shirt, but I'm like, but how much did it cost to make it?
Right.
Yeah.
And then, it's like, so then you may look and see, well, I got a price at $25, but it's costing you $24.50 to make it. We got a problem. If people don't understand their numbers, then that you can have your business set up. You can just be beautiful, have this huge, beautiful building that we're in that's looking over, what is that? Is that 400? Or yeah,
400.
Just beautiful, right? And still not be profitable. And then you don't know why you're not profitable, and you don't know why your account is still overdrawn. And, and then what are you doing with the money when the money comes in? How many sales does it take to pay your rent if you want to get out? A lot of people are home-based businesses, but they don't understand why they can't get out of the house and get into an office because they don't know what they can and they cannot afford because they don't know their numbers.
Right.
And I'll be honest, I'm a very transparent person. At one point, I was like, I don't care. And then Dexter kept asking me, why? Oh, my gosh, you're getting on my nerves with this. Like, seriously. But it's made such a difference.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that he just, because when you're talking about collaborations and dealing with other people, you cannot have yes people. You got to you have to be around people who don't care about your feelings. And it's like, I'm not going to move from here. You have to know this stuff. Like, okay, fine. Yeah. But it makes you better overall.
It's part of the growth.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, kind of marrying or combining the two things that you talked about. You mentioned, so if I'm working from home and I want to get out into an office, or I just want to be able to expand, I need to know my numbers. What are some tools that you found have been very useful for helping people to get to that point to where, one, they know those financial numbers so they can expand, but then 2, getting down to that granular level where you say, this many calls or this many appointments, turnovers, turns into a client.
Right. I want you to answer the second part, but I was going to start with the first. For every client that comes in to our business, we give them a 100 question review of their business. Very easy, and it's done in about 10 minutes. And all it's a yes, maybe, agree, maybe in the middle, or disagree. And it takes about 10 minutes to go through. And even in the way that the questions are formed, it tells you a lot about your business from there. And we start there. Yeah. And they're broken into various categories. We can focus on those categories, and then we get into Martina.
Right. Then we take that, and then we can actually get into a plan. Now, what I did yesterday was my 11th year of being a full-time entrepreneur.
Wow.
So yeah, I was excited about that. But I just left. I just said, I can't do this anymore. I was like, I'm going to die a slow death. And I just left. Now, I'm not listen, y'all on Instagram, I'm not telling you to do that. That's what I did. But what we typically do if you're working outside of your home, the first thing is need to know what are your business expenses from your household expenses.
Yes.
Because sometimes people just put them all together, and then they go haphazardly get either their own office suite, or they get a little co-share space, and they're like, "Oh my God, I didn't know it just cost so much." But you thought you had all this extra, but you really didn't, because that was something that you were utilizing for your house. So the AC goes out at the house, and you're pulling from that budget. So using the 100. The 100 questions, I mean, I went through it, and I was sitting there when I got to like maybe number 51 or 52. I was like, I don't even want to answer these questions. This is just like all up in my business, But when you look at it, then it helps you to understand, are you really ready?
Right.
And then some things are going to be, I'm just going to tell you, sometimes you're just going to have to jump. Sometimes you're going to have to jump. You're not going to find perfect circumstances. It just doesn't work out. We always have a perfect plan, and I promise you something's going to happen. It's going to be a perfect plan, and I bet you it rains. Somebody blocks you in. You can't get out. Something happens. But if you know your numbers, you have a solid foundation, that's when it's like, okay, maybe now I should venture out. And then you have to have discipline, because if you don't have discipline, the office is just going to be sitting there. You're still going to work from home.
And I wanted to add one thing to that. So if you are, any of you out there are working from home right now, dedicate a space in your house that's just for business. There's no other reason to do anything else. Dedicate a space for business. Also, start tracking your clients. A lot of people are using things like email as their task list, as their customer relationship management, as their primary communications channel. Email is good, but you need something structured to put your customers in and actually have and actually track your communications with them. So you don't have to lose that. Oh, I was supposed to send this person an email back. I was supposed to call this person back at 8:00. I have a meeting today at 10 a.m. You don't miss those things when you actually leverage a tool. And those are the things that on the business automation side, that is the stuff that I do for a lot of the business. Just like, okay, let's get some organization around. Thank you. Let's get some organization.
Chef Flav was trying to serve us here.
All right, but yes, just and it starts with just those foundational things. Who are your clients? What? How are you doing your accounting? And once you get to those two, then you can get into the details of your business, whatever vertical that you're in.
Very cool. So, to that point, tracking. Do you feel that automation is key, or are there some things that you have to do before you can get to that automation?
Automation is only a tool. First thing you need is your process. And Martina and I have talked about this a lot. The first thing you do is get your process down. Tools only help get your process better.
Gotcha. Okay. So I know you all work with individuals who are looking to build that business. So let's say that I just have an idea. I haven't gotten off the ground, maybe haven't even started selling anything, but I've got this great idea and I feel like I want to get there. Is that a good a good client? Is that somebody that you can work? Okay,
that's what gets me excited. That's the one that get like I'm sitting there like, they have not been jaded. Yes. Those are the most fun. Those are the most fun.
Yeah.
I mean, you existing business owners, we love you too. We do, and we'll help you. But the newbies, it's just like an infant. You know, you get all the new stuff. It's exciting, and then they're excited, and
they're kind of not set in their ways.
They are not
they're able to mold a little bit easier.
It's a little easier to deal with the new businesses. But the thing that's happening now, like she was saying, that people operate in the business, even the people who have existing businesses, the stuff that we oftentimes have to show them, it's like it's a new business. It's almost like it's a brand new business, because they're like, oh, I didn't know that I need to have a policy for how I deal with this type of customer.
Right.
And once they start picking those things up, it might as well be brand new to everyone at the time.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, Martina, I know you shared that your dad was a serial entrepreneur, but
Yes.
you've got a couple businesses that you are operating as well, right?
Yes, I am.
So tell me what drives you to be an entrepreneur,
Okay.
and then tell me about some of the other businesses that you operate.
Okay, so growing up, I was a spoiled brat. I like things my way, and I have not changed. I like to write my own rules. I always colored outside the lines. I have to be in a position to be me. Mm-hmm. So a few years ago, I had the opportunity to be at an event where Eric Thomas was speaking. My first time ever hearing of Eric Thomas, and I saw him speak, and he came out in some tennis shoes, some jeans, and a hat, and I was like, yes! Because in my space, everybody wants you in high heels and all the makeup and I can dress if I want to, but I want to be me,
right?
So I felt like Eric Thomas gave me my permission to be me, and then I had the beautiful opportunity to actually meet him and shake his hand last September. So I was excited about that, but what pushed me, because I've had 19 businesses. So when I left corporate America, We Are Boss was my 17th business, and boss means business owner striving for success. Then the 18th business was Boss Taxes, which we've been operating for 9 years. So I run a full service tax business. Mm-hmm. Whew, thank God for a reprieve from April 15th. And then last year we made the right decision to come out of the company that I was with for almost 10 years and start my enterprises, which is Martina C. Young Enterprises, and kind of repositioned myself. So the significance in that my enterprises is number 19 is that my dad passed when I was 19 years old, and I was like, this is it. Wow. And what pushes me is myself. Then when I was 28 and 30, I had 2 children. And my son now is 14, and he is 6'2", and he wears a size 14 in a men's shoe. He likes to eat. My daughter, 16, she's 5'3", she's no bigger than a pinky. Y'all probably about the same beautiful size. But they motivate me, but it started with me first, because I can't be motivated by my children or anything else, because it's me that has to get up every day.
Right.
So when your children leave, so you stop working on your business. So I tell everybody, you have to be intrinsically motivated, because that's what's going to push you those days you don't want to get up. Those days, you're going to have bad weeks in business. You're going to have days that, you're just going to meet difficult people. People are not going to like your food. They're not going to catch your vision. It's like, wait a second, all this love I done poured in there. Because I'm sitting up there thinking about your burger. I'm a burger girl. I'm like, oh, I can just have her create me a burger, but you'll have people that are going to challenge you, but you got to be motivated within yourself. So am I allowed to plug my book?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
absolutely, yeah.
and the reason I'm bringing that up is because I looked at what I had when I wrote the book, The Entrepreneur's Guide to Becoming a Boss, which is a business owner striving for success. That was taking those 9.5 years of living a true entrepreneur life, not just from what I went through, but what clients went through. Times Tina got it right and times Martina got it wrong, dead wrong. And I put it in a book to help people. And what has happened from that book is we have built several businesses. Yes. We got a whole nonprofit that came out of it because I did a free book club. It's still on Facebook. If you bought the book, you're in the book club. And we did for almost a whole year, through the whole book, we did live videos. And they're still there to help people. And when you see that someone else has got their freedom papers and they're like, I get it. Like this, I get it. I can have something to leave my children. I can have something to, if you want to be like Oprah and leave it to different foundations, you can. But you can, because you made the decision. And again, I'm a spoiled brat. It's my way or it's no way.
Right.
All those people, my way to head. There's no choice. There's no choice.
Most of the time.
Right.
Some people give me some difficulty. But yeah, I'm my motivation. And then, of course, I look at my 2 extensions, and that just pushes it a little bit more. So I'll tell any entrepreneur, if you cannot be motivated by yourself, go keep working for someone till you find that motivation.
That's right.
Nice. And to that point, I know a lot of people step out into being an entrepreneur, or they have this vision of what an entrepreneur is, and it's rosy. My business is going to be great. I know that I'm going to succeed. And of course, you should have those positive feelings, but there are those times when they get beat up because it didn't go the way that it was supposed to go. So tell me, what are some things, I guess, that you could do or that you put out there to help encourage entrepreneurs to overcome obstacles?
First thing is you breathe.
Yep.
Yes.
Because when you breathe, you know you're alive. That sounds so crazy, but it's very true. That's one of the first things that I do. And Dexter tell you, we had a situation one time where the first thing, this is it. I was just like, you just have to get it out. And then begin to write down, and I actually got this from Rhonda Byrne in her book, The Magic, where it talks about the power of gratitude. Write down or say out loud 3 things you're grateful for. Because, this happens sometimes at the office. Some things, it was really hot in there. Things weren't happening. I just said, you know what, Laura, I am so grateful that we have an office. Because I remember working from home and the dog was barking and the kids were yelling and I'm trying to run outside to be professional. So I'm very grateful that we have an office. But, find those things to be grateful and remember why you started. Sometimes you got to stop and remember why you started. It wasn't because of all of this. You actually started because you were passionate about something. Something pushed you there. Because if money pushed you there, then you know what? Give it up.
You're going to fail.
You're going to fail. And that is when I was doing film and video, and those actors and actresses would come in, and I would ask them, like, what motivates you? Oh, I'm going to make this money. Okay, thank you. Next. Because if you don't see the money, you're out of there anyway.
Right.
And the real thing about the entrepreneurial life is you're really not going to see money. Yeah, you may make a lot of sales, but you got to put 31% of your money back into marketing so that you can get repeated sales. Okay,
That's
correct.
Yes.
And and then you got to be creative. You can't just stop with one product. You've got to be creative. If that was the case, then, some of these fast food businesses would not be selling chicken sandwiches. They wouldn't be trying to compete with the coffee houses and things of that nature. And they were like, wait a minute, if we just sell this, if this is our only product, you have to keep that creativity going. And then sometimes if you can't do it by yourself, then I always say, get a team. I have a chapter in the book that talks about business collaborations, but it also talks about you can't make a dead horse walk. And that means if you got a dead person in your business that's a partner, get rid of them.
Yep.
And I don't care if it's your cousin.
Thank you. Say that.
Uncle, auntie. If my mom is not doing the stuff I'm asking her to do for the business,
right.
I'll see you on the 4th of July.
You get a phone call later.
Yeah, she's going to call me now.
Right. Question for you guys.
Yes.
So, how would you tell someone like myself, a young entrepreneur, who is also building their business, their brand, and building an empire and still working a day job? And I'm kind of in this stagnant position where I'm like, dang, I really want to push my business further, but all my time is at, corporate, is at my job. So how do I take that risk, and how do I know I'm ready to take that risk to be like, okay, let me quit my job and focus on my business? Because like how she said, entrepreneurs really don't start seeing a profit, and really my business, it eats away at my money. The money that I do get paid from my day job, it eats. Like
I totally understand. Yeah, no, yes, been there.
So I need the job to fuel my business, but then I need the time as well. I don't know how to balance the two. I need like that definite income, and then I also need the time to build my business. Like I don't want to be like, oh well, I only really get 2 to 3 hours of sleep.
Right.
And then my body's gonna crash on me. I've been there and done that, and it does not feel good.
So one of the things, we have 3 different time management methods that we implement for clients. Some work better than the others. First things first, you have to write down everything it is that you need to do. And let me take that back. Do not write it down. I don't have my bag with me, but I have 6 notebooks with stuff written on it. But from that notebook, it immediately goes into something digital. Mm-hmm. It must, because notebooks, your mind, pencil, paper, they're unreliable. The one thing we know is that computer will be on. So you transition whatever it is you need to do from your head immediately to something digital that you're going to come back to. The second thing that I usually suggest is, if you haven't heard, have you heard of the Pomodoro method?
No.
Okay. Basically what the Pomodoro method is you block out your day into 20-minute blocks. And for 20 minutes, you only do one thing. After those 20 minutes are up, and I'm talking about use the timer on the phone. After those 20 minutes are up, you're done. Take a 5-minute break. Go check your emails, get on Instagram, Facebook, wherever, and then once those 5 minutes are up, get back to it for 20 minutes. What you'll find is, I found that I could pack an 8-hour workday into about 2 to 3 hours. It's the distractions that drag your day out.
Yeah.
And it's a good practice. When you first start doing it, the distractions will still be there, and you'll see over and over again the numbers. Most people, when they first start doing it, can get 2 or 3. I call them POMs, but Pomodors completed in a day. When you get good at it, you'll be able to do 8 to 10. But if you think about that, 8 to 10, that's 200 minutes, right? That's right under 4 hours of your day. So if you get 8 to 10 things done for your business a day, or let's just say you got 4 or 5 completed, you're going to find that you have more time. In your business, it's a little different because you have there is time for prep and things like that. But the administration part and all of those things, you'll find that you'll get a lot of those things done. And to the second part of your question, your business will start feeding you. The more you get that administrative stuff completed, it'll feed you, and then you'll see. And it's an amazing feeling when you don't have to have a job. And this coming from someone who's got 4 children. I've always felt like I had to have a job, but I finally got to a point where I didn't have to have a job. I wanted to work. And I'm going to definitely want to work for me more than I'm going to want to work for someone else.
Right.
And I get to lead that ship. I'm responsible for its success, its failure. And that's a lot of responsibility. But as far as time, you just focus it in short chunks and then get away from it. And you'll see you got the time to get that, because I'm ready to come to your restaurant. Right?
Yeah. And then the other thing is, one of the things that I tell entrepreneurs when you're working a full-time job and you're trying to find the time, 1 hour, 5 times a week is 20 hours a month that you are only working on your business development. So it depends on the business on what that is. And it's just, and because someone says, I'll just do 5 hours on, Saturday or whatever. But when you're trying to balance, and if you're fighting for time, then 1 hour, 5 times a week. So it becomes a part of your routine. Nice. And then it makes things a little bit easier with the integration. I don't care if it's the movies. If you say that, on Saturday at 5 o'clock from 5 to 6 is my hour, and a new movie just came out, then you can't go during that time. So, and that's the other thing as an entrepreneur, you got to tell people no a lot.
Yep.
You're not the fun friend. You're the one they're going to tell you all the time, oh, that business, you're just going to die in that business. All you do is that business. And you got to have fun. You got to, okay, see, you know what? But just because it's time for you to have fun, that ain't my hours.
Right.
And then sometimes as an entrepreneur, you got to have time for just you. away from people. I talk to people all day. And sometimes, like Dexter, you wouldn't eat lunch by yourself? I sure did. I sure did. And then I turned Friends on, turn Netflix on, watch Friends. I've watched Friends probably 1,000 times. Doesn't matter. And I sit there and I just enjoy just that time for myself, because you have to take that time. Nice.
So speaking of time,
yes.
as we get closer to the end of our episode, I like to do a little segment. Country Financial focuses on taking simple steps to achieve larger goals. So I want to go around the room really quickly again. Chef, can you tell us maybe some simple steps to improve your diet?
Some simple steps.
Or share a simple step. I'm just throwing that out there as an example.
My diet or?
For people.
Okay.
Your customers.
I would just say being more mindful of what you're eating. Definitely carbs and weighs a lot on you. A lot of salt is not good. Instead of getting a side of fries, maybe just don't do a side. Like, leave the fries out of it. That's what I started telling myself. Or actually, before I started doing the no fries, I was just doing Midway, which was the baked potato. I'll get a baked potato, but then I started cheating because I put like sour cream and butter and cheese and bacon in it, and then didn't go too well.
Baked potato.
Okay. So just being more aware and conscious, and you have to kind of think about your spirit mobile. I say all the time, this is just my spirit mobile. My spirit is in here so deep. My body is just. It's just a vehicle,
Nice.
You know. Nice. I'm out here on a mission. I'm trying to go somewhere. There's a clear path for me. I had to, and just like everyone else, you have to take care of your spirit mobile first. That's how you do with your car. If you don't take care of your car, it's going to break down on you. You don't know where it's going to break down on you. You could be on the way to go pick up a check for $100 million, and then if you don't take care of that mobile, it's going to break down on you, and you just SOL. So you have to start caring for yourself first. It's just about putting yourself first and being more aware of the things that you eat.
I like it. Okay. Martina, simple step from you.
Stop making excuses and just do the doggone thing.
Short and sweet.
Yeah.
I love it. Dex?
Stop saying that you are not good with tech. Everyone has a cell phone. You are really good with tech.
Good point.
Unless you're my grandma. She calls me. She said, baby, my phone's not ringing. I said, grandma, it's a little switch ring.
Right here on the side.
Pick it up.
And then, Joi, maybe a simple step for a student that's heading off to college. What can you share for us?
To have a plan and to be flexible within that plan.
There we go. All right. And as we wrap up, Joi, can you share how can people contact you or get more information about Project Ready?
So for Project Ready, definitely go on our website, ulgatl.org. They'll have all the information about all of our programming, but in particular, Project Ready. You can also, once you get on there, you can find out what our registration requirements are.
Okay. Chef Flavor, how can they find you?
Oh, you can find me off of my Instagram and Facebook. All of my social media is the same at It's LaMills. That's ITSLOMLS. It's the acronym for Love of My Life. So if anyone has one, you should never forget the name. Okay. You can also check me out on my website, www.itslamills.com. Again, LaMills is LOMLS. Okay. Acronym for Love of My Life. And that's how you can get in contact with me. If you want to personally reach me, I do have a contact me button on my website, so where you could email me or text me.
Perfect. Martina?
All right, so you can go, you guys have my name, so you have my website. It's martinayoung.com. You can get me on Instagram at Entrepreneurs Trainer, and that's plural, Entrepreneurs Trainer on Instagram, and on Facebook, My Enterprises LLC.
Perfect. Dex?
Okay. The name of my company is Vendetta Systems. You can find me everywhere, and it's real easy. It's like Vendetta with the A. VENDAETTA. Vendetta Systems. So you go to vendetta.com. You can find us on Instagram at Vendetta Systems. We're on Facebook and LinkedIn. And we've got a lot of cool things to show you guys on tech.
Fantastic. I enjoyed having you all. Thank you again for listening to Trusted Advisor Radio, and we'll see you next month.